All right, today we're gonna cook 3 different steaks, 3 different ways. First of all, we've got some beautiful full-blood Japanese black Wagyu steaks here from Marble Ridge Farms. First one we're gonna look at is the ribeye. This is a bone-in ribeye. All right, this comes from the front half of the cow up by the chuck. And as you can see, it's going to be very, very well marbled. What I love about this one especially is that it's got very fine marbling, not big hunks of fat. All these little striations of white fat here are what you want. It's got a really, really soft fat. You can see it's kind of melting already at room temperature. That is a couple of the characteristics of the Wagyu full-blood Japanese genetics. The second one I've got here is a strip steak, New York strip or Kansas City strip, whatever you want to call it. Now that's going to come a little bit farther back from the loin area of the cow. And that's going to be a little bit darker in color, as you can see. It's still going to have great marbling. It's going to have a little bit more texture to it, whereas the ribeye is going to be softer, fattier, juicier. This guy's going to firm up a little bit. And then after that, we've got a filet mignon, or beef tenderloin. Okay, and this is coming from the back half of the cow as well. And you can see it's going to be a little bit leaner cut, still has great marbling, but it's going to be the most tender cut of steak on the whole animal. A little less flavor maybe because it's not as fatty, but the tenderness is going to more than make up for that. So in order here, this one's probably going to be your most flavorful, the fattiest, juiciest. This one would be second, kind of a combination of the two. It's going to have a lot of that fat and moisture, retention and flavor. It's kind of a balanced version. And then this one right here is going to be a leaner cut, very, very tender and melt in your mouth. Okay, so let's start with this bone-in ribeye. First thing I'm gonna do with this thing, very simply, I'm gonna season it up. And I like to use our all-in seasoning. This is just a really well-balanced, good on everything seasoning. It's gonna have your salt, your big black pepper, but this is like the perfect all-purpose seasoning. All right, we'll hit that, both sides. On this ribeye, we're gonna go ahead and do what is known as a reverse sear. So that means we're going to put it on the pellet smoker first, get a nice smoke to it at about 250 degrees. Let that run for about 20-30 minutes till it gets up to about 100 degrees, 110 degrees. And we're going to pull it, let it rest a second, and then hit it with an open flame hard sear at the end. All right, I've got my Smokin' Brothers pellet grill fired up, running 252 degrees on the dot. So what I'm going to do is just set this ribeye right up here. We're just gonna let that air flow around it, let it get some smoke and some color, let it start sweating. And that'll take about 20 to 30 minutes, we'll check it. We're looking for an internal temp of about 105, I would say. And then we'll take it off, let it rest. All right, it's been 20 minutes, been running 250 degrees. Temp is 106, which is perfect. You can see how soft this steak is. So I'm gonna pull that steak off. And it's not gonna look like much yet, but it's definitely taken on some of that smoke and some of that flavor that we're looking for. So it's okay to let this rest for a minute right now. None of the juices are really flowing, it's not sizzling or anything. So I want to let this steak cool down for a little bit, because when we sear this thing really, really hot over an open flame, we don't want to overcook it while we're doing that, while we're getting our good crust on there. So let this cool off for a minute. All right, the ribeye's been resting, and I'm going to get my grill ready. I've got my hog logs going crazy. Now I can dump some wood chips on there. And once you get that thing ripping and roaring, it's go time. Start building that crust. This steak is rested down to about 100 degrees, so we don't have to worry about overcooking it. I like to leave the lid off when I do this. That way it doesn't sit there and start baking and overcooking. So we're just gonna let that thing crisp up on the bottom, flip it as needed. All right, we're building the crust. And I do mean build. So what I like to do is flip this thing a couple times. Get that fat sizzling and bubbling and dancing. It's gonna take a couple flips to get it where we want it. All right, we took that one up to about 130 degrees. Now this ribeye, I said, is fattier. It's okay to cook that one just a little bit over medium rare, up to medium. You got a nice crust on it, as you can see. Let's tap into this thing and see what's going on here. I'll go ahead and take the bone out. Look at that. Nicely done. She's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Marbling. And I'm not squeezing, folks. That's how juicy it really is. and the tenderness is just crazy. Look at that. That gets it. All right, the next steak we're gonna look at is gonna be the strip steak. Now this steak right here is one of my all-time favorites. It has a very good balance of marbling and a little bit more texture. So you get kind of the best of both worlds on this one. And my go-to on these is Bold and Beefy. This is our #1 beef rub by far. You really can't go wrong with it. Just pat it in a little bit. It's gonna give you that salt, pepper. It's got a hint of sweet, but it also includes some real rendered beef to enhance the beef flavor. The technique I'm gonna use on this steak is just a typical, what I would call, burn and turn. We're gonna sear it on both sides, get some nice grill lines going on it. About 2 minutes a side, 2.5 minutes each side. Angle it, do another 2. And it's gonna be the perfect medium. We're gonna go to about 128 on this steak, internal temp. So for this steak, we're gonna use our go-to drum smoker. I've got hog logs in there for charcoal, and the difference between a briquette and a hog log is these hog logs are extruded. They've got a hole in the middle of them. So that hole is gonna flow air and circulate air through the charcoal, which is gonna allow that charcoal to glow bright, bright red and give you extra heat. So I'll go ahead and set this guy right on there at an angle, set your weight on there, and set your timer for 2 minutes. Okay, and we're 2 minutes in. Got a nice line. We're just gonna give it the old cross hatch and back with the weight. 2 more minutes. So we're 4 minutes in. We should have good color on one side. Oh, look at those grill lines, baby. All right. 2 minutes on the front side. Switch, 2 minutes on the angle. Flip it, and I went a minute on each side. Let's see where we're at temp-wise on this guy. We're getting close. 122, 115. She's hot. So now at this point, I can just go ahead and keep an eye on it here. We want to get up to about 125 to 128, and we'll let it rest. So there we are, 128. Feels good. We're gonna go ahead and pull that steak off and let it rest. All right, so that New York strip steak is ready. What I wanna do now is let it rest for a little bit. And while I do that, I'm just gonna slice a little pat of butter or 2. Set that on top, let that kind of melt in while we're waiting. I'll just take a sheet of foil and just lightly tent it over top. And we'll let that sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. There she is, the strip steak. 100% full-blood Japanese Wagyu beef grown on our very own farm in New Haven, Missouri. Save all those juices. She's rested. It's time to get slicing. First cut, that's a winner. Edge to edge medium. That's the perfect balance right there. It's got texture, but the moisture and the juiciness just explodes when it hits your mouth. Incredible, very, very tender. All right, so the third steak we're gonna do is the tenderloin or the filet mignon. So what I wanna do for that, I'm gonna go ahead and use a cast iron pan. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put some butter in there. Decent amount of butter. I wanna put some garlic in there. Decent amount of garlic. And we'll use a little bit of thyme. Get some of that flavor going. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this on the grill and let that heat up. Get my cast iron pan on there. Give a shot of this truffle and chop seasoning as well. That's gonna go perfectly with that butter and garlic and thyme. So guys, we wanna go ahead and hit this with the truffle and chop. Hit it heavy, hit it hard. It's a nice little hunk of meat. But that truffle oil is gonna enhance the flavor. This steak right here is gonna have a really, really beefy flavor, not as fatty, but more of a beefy flavor. So that thing's seasoned up. My butter's bubbling. Now we're just gonna go ahead and get it in there. Look at that. We're getting a beautiful crust even on this tenderloin. Go ahead and flip it over. Keep that butter and garlic moving. It's gonna be nice. So guys, on this one, we're only going to about 110. Perfect. Go ahead and take that in and let him rest. All right, our filet has rested. Now it's time to slice. See how beautiful this thing already is. So tender. That's crazy. I can pick up on that truffle rub too, that's nice. All right, so there it is. We've got 3 different steaks, cooked 3 different ways, and 3 different types of delicious. The ribeye would be the most flavorful and the juiciest. The strip, tons of flavor, a little more texture to it, a little more chew, but still very tender. And then your filet, perfectly tender, mild flavored, very beefy, just absolutely incredible. Depending on what you like, take your pick. They're all good.